Should nothing of our efforts stand, no legacy survive, unless the Lord does raise the house in vain, its builders strive. To you who boast tomorrow's gain, tell me, what is your life? A mist that vanishes at dawn, all glory be to Christ.
Welcome to the Open Bible Podcast. I'm Pastor Jeremy, and along with Ethan Jones, we've been going through the book of Proverbs one chapter at a time. And it's January 31st, so this is our final chapter on our final day. As we look over the month, as we look over this project, Ethan and I will be sharing some things we learned or realized going through Proverbs like this. And we want to invite you to share as well. Maybe how you've been encouraged or challenged over the past month. And you can let us know by replying in a comment on YouTube or writing us a quick email, which is in the description. Some of you have already written in, and we greatly appreciate hearing from you. In February, we'll be going back to weekly podcasts, but another option for you is to start back with Proverbs again, following the chapters and days of the month. Again, it's our prayer that you are encouraged to live wisely and trusting God by aligning all aspects of our lives to his character and order. That being said, let's read Proverbs 31. The words of King Lemuel, an oracle that his mother taught him. What are you doing, my son? What are you doing, son of my womb? What are you doing, son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, your ways to those who destroy kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, or for rulers to take strong drink, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed, and pervert the rights of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to the one who is perishing, and wine to those in bitter distress. Let them drink and forget their poverty, and remember their misery no more. Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and needy. An excellent wife who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands. She is like the ships of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. She dresses herself with strength and makes her arms strong. She perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household are clothed in scarlet. She makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers sashes to the merchant. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Among the many topics Proverbs touches on, one we've refrained from addressing it for the most part is women. This isn't out of fear or cultural sensitivity, but rather that we knew chapter 31 was coming. And here's my relational disclaimer right off the start. I've been married for just about 16 years to a great woman, to Brittany, And I dated 2 other girls briefly in college. I'm the only son of my mother, with 1 older sister and 1 younger sister. All this to say, while I can't provide much wisdom on this matter, I am able to begin to affirm what is presented in this book regarding women. Proverbs paints a pretty clear picture about the importance of finding a good woman. Sprinkled throughout the book are glimpses, especially of the destructive power of a wayward woman. She is unfaithful. She will neglect your family. She will bankrupt you. She will ruin your reputation. She will distract you. She will wear you out. Just listen to Proverbs 27, verses 15 through 16. A constant dripping on a day of steady rain and a contentious woman are alike. He who would restrain her restrains the wind and grasps oil with his right hand. We have plenty of biblical examples of women like this, women like Delilah, Job's wife, Jezebel, Michal, and others. But what about the positive? Well, verses 10 through 31 in Proverbs 31 give us a good description. What we miss in our translations is that these verses are an acrostic. So each verse begins with a consecutive letter of the 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. And we might ask ourselves, well, why? Well, to help one remember, to aid in memorizing this wisdom. These verses present a woman, a wife, who is trustworthy. She is an asset in the way that she makes those around her better, especially her husband. She is concerned about her home, bringing beauty and quality to it. She is concerned for her family. She is diligent and not idle. She uses her time effectively. She is responsible and prudent financially. She is wise in her speech. She builds up her husband and teaches her children. That's it. That's all she does. It's pretty simple, right? So gals, just go and be that. Go and do these things. I'm just joking. Actually, if listening to that doesn't intimidate you, then you might need to start this series all over again. Rather, it's pretty clear where these characteristics, these virtues, come from. Listen to verse 30 again. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Ladies, the world promises its praise to you if you conform to its definition of outward beauty and charm, if you push back against God's order and beat men at their own game. But that is deceitful, vain, and ultimately fleeting. See, God praises a woman whose life is centered on Him, who places their loyalty and submission first and foremost to Him, who seeks His kingdom and righteousness before anything else by trusting in Him for their forgiveness in life. And when that is at the center of their commitment, when His grace is their source, slowly these virtues come out. Slowly they become expressed, specifically by being a helper to her husband and children, and if single, to her community. My favorite verse, and one that years ago I began praying for Brittany, is verse 25. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. I want my wife and my daughter to be able to laugh at what is yet to come, not out of ignorant pride or arrogance, but because they are clothed in the gracious strength and security that can only come from the Lord, from a relationship with Him. So gals, whether you're single, married, widowed, do not put your trust in anyone other than the Lord. That is where your worth is found. And as you trust Him, ask Him for the grace to live intentionally, faithfully, and wisely with those He brings into your life. And men, we're called to praise women who place their trust in the Lord, who live that out. So do that today, whether it's your mother, a sister, a friend, a daughter. your wife. Praise and bless them. Thank the Lord for them. It's important to notice that the book of Proverbs ends where it begins, with the fear of the Lord. This is the call to submit to the Lord, to place our trust in Him by trusting in Jesus Christ. A wise life begins and ends in Him.